Welcome to the Everything Podcast, and in this episode I'm going to be discussing the announcement of the War Doctor Rises Fear of Light, which was announced on the 11th of February 2026, and I'm recording this episode just one day after that announcement, which is pretty much as good as I'm going to get, unless it's something that's released on the day before I record episodes, which has happened a few times. I'm recording this on the 12th of February 2026. But before I get started, if I do sound a bit different or you hear random noises, I have injured my shoulder, my right shoulder somehow. It's not work related, surprisingly, so just thought I should mention it. And as well, something one side of my mouth hurts as well, so I seem to be getting injuries left, right and centre at the moment. But yeah, so let's read the press release, which is titled "The War Doctor Meets the Rani." As I said, it was announced on the 11th of February 2026. So here's what the press release says. She's back. Jonathan Carley and Siobhan Redmond star in The War Doctor Rises Fear of the Light, a brand new box set of Time War audio drama due for release in May 2026. Then we have the cover for The War Doctor Rises Fear of the Light, which will most likely be the thumbnail, and if it isn't, obviously if you're watching the episode on YouTube or Rumble, you should be able to see it. Anyway, in the next volume of his full cast audio adventures, the War Doctor, now played by Jonathan Carley, must make an uneasy alliance with an old enemy, the Rani, this incarnation played by Siobhan Redmond. This renegade time lady, a brilliant but cruel scientist, first appeared in classic Doctor Who TV serials The Mark of the Rani and Time of the Rani, in which she was played by Kate O'Mara. She made a return appearance as the main villain of the 2025 TV series, portrayed in two incarnations by Anita Dobson and Archie Punjabi. So before I continue, the being in season 2 is the only information that I have about the Rani. I haven't seen the classic series really at all, and especially not the Rani stories, and I've not heard Siobhan Redmond's Rani either, which I will get into now. But what happened to the Rani between those encounters? Siobhan Redmond returns to play the character on audio for the first time in 10 years, following 2014's The Rani Elite and 2015's Planet of the Rani, in a story that goes deeper into this morally murky character than ever before, and reveals for the first time just what she was up to during the Time War. So as it says that, it seems to be a bridge between the classic and new series Ranis. Similar to how the War Master and the War Doctor kind of Siobhan Redmond's Rani seems to be the War Rani, seemingly. The Doctor and the Rani may have been staunch enemies in the past, but with the Daleks, played by Nicholas Briggs, out to kill them both, they'll have to work together unless she has other tricks up her sleeves. The War Doctor Rises Fear of the Light has been written by Rashana Patel. It's one long story, as has always been the case, where with The War Doctor Rises, obviously one author for the entire set. Here's the synopsis for The War Doctor Rises Fear of the Light. Where are we up to? Fleeing from the Daleks, the Doctor sends a distress call in desperate need of rescue. It's answered by one of his oldest friends and deadliest foes, the Rani. In the midst of the Time War, the Doctor must now consider the unthinkable. Can he set their differences aside and work with the Rani to change the future of the universe? Producer David Richardson said, "The Rani is back at last and it's about time." Rashana has written a stunning script which reunites two of Gallifrey's most renowned runaways, and they are front and centre in almost every scene of a story that explores the history and dynamic of the relationship. Writer Rashana Patel added, "It's been over 10 years since the Rani's last Big Finish appearance, so a rematch is long overdue. Where she's been, what she's been doing, as the universe burns, where does the exiled Rani stand in the war between the Time Lords and the Daleks? All these questions will be answered, and in these dark and terrible days, are the Rani and the War Doctor enemies or something else?" For this epic 3-part story, I want to completely reimagine the Rani as a character, revisit that apathetic scientist that we first encountered in The Mark of the Rani, her backstory with the Doctor, and explore what makes her into the woman who re-emerges in Wishworld and the Reality War. This is very much the missing piece of the Rani story, and perhaps the Doctor's too. No, I'm not going to say that, because there's bits in the press release that I don't need to say because they're in every single one. But if you thought that the War Doctor Rises Fear of the Light is the only time you might hear the Jonathan Carley's War Doctor in 2026, you would be wrong, because we've got a second War Doctor Rises set this year, due for release in December 2026. And that's it for the announcement. So let me know what you thought of the announcement of the War Doctor Rises Fear of the Light, as well if you're planning to listen to it when it is released in May 2026. But without further ado, I will see you in a future episode of the podcast. See you then. Goodbye.